Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Datatypes. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Datatypes, Tech Made Simple. So we have been off for a long time. We haven't been posting for a long time, for almost 2 years now. So yeah, now we're back. Without a waste of time, let me get to the business of the day. I'm back with Python tutorials. So now just simply going to show how to work with Python data types. Python data types and variables. So as you can see here, we have strings, we have integers, we have floating points, we have Boolean. So when it comes to strings any value that is written inside of the quotation marks. Might be double quotation marks or only one quotation marks. It can even be a number, anything that you can write inside the quotation marks. That's a string. So when we work with strings, we can simply print out a string by saying this is a string. So just like that, when you run, this is going to output this is a string. So just note that anything that you put inside the quotation marks, it's going to be written as it is. So let me show you that even one quotation mark is going to output the very same thing. This is a string. So anything that you're going to put inside of these quotation marks, that's going to be a string, and it will be outputted as it is. Even a number, if I say 5 plus 5, it's not going to say 10 because this is not an integer. This is a string. So that's how we work with strings. Now we can go to integers, where integers any whole number. So these are whole numbers, 5 or 6 or 1,000 or 10,000. Is it this 10,000? How many zeros are here? It's 100,000. All right, can see what. Okay, so here we have it. Integers are any whole numbers. You know, in mathematics, even integers, I think they are shown by a letter Z with a stroke somewhere there on Z or something like that. So those are integers. So when we work with integers, maybe I can assign Z to 5. I can assign Y to 6. So now when we work with integers, I can simply say maybe results is equal to Z plus Y, which is simply going to, when I print out results, is simply going to show the results of Z plus Y, which is 5 plus 6, which is 11. I can even write Z plus Y in here, and then it will be outputted as 11. So as you know, here we can also, in integers, we can also make an integer negative number. Let's say -5 here, and then the results now are going to be 1, because now it's Z plus Y, which is -5 plus 6. You know that's going to give us a 1. So yeah, we can also put this as negative, and then it's going to be -11. So since you know in mathematics every number is positive, as long as there's nothing, the default is going to be positive. So if you put a negative, it's going to be a negative. So enough with integers. Floating points are any values which are decimal values. Any value, any number which is a decimal. So it might be 5.5, 6.9, 10.23. So I can say this almost the same thing with integers, which here I can say 5.5, and then Z. Okay, it's not Z. Y is equal to 7.9. Okay, let me just have an X which is equal to an integer number, which let me say 8. So here I can print Z plus Y, which is simply going to give us a 13.4. So that's a floating number. So even here, if I say Z plus Y, which is an integer plus which is a floating point plus an integer, it's going to give us as a floating point, because now floating point is dominating now. So for now, let me say I want to convert. Let me say I have an X which is equal to 8, which is an integer. So I can convert this X into a floating point. So I can say X float is equal to, or this is just a variable. Note that this is a variable. Even if I don't say float, I can just say, maybe give it a variable. I mean, yes, a variable H, and then say is equal to float of X. So if I can come here and say print H, now note that h is assigned the value of x, but in a floating, as a floating point. So when I say print, it's going to say 8.0. so that this way I've converted my x, which is an integer, into a floating point. So enough with floatings, and then let's go to Boolean. Boolean are any values that are true or false. It's just true or false. So just to show that how to output a true or a false, I can say x equal to 6, and then z is equal to 5, and then let me say y is equal to 6 again, and then let me say print x is equal to z. So note that when I am comparing now here I'm comparing is x is equal to z. So when I compare, I use double equal sign. When I assign, I use only one equal sign. So if you can look here, if I say x equal to 5, just one equal sign is going to give an error, already showing that there's an error. So when I say double equal sign, that is correct. So now when I run the code, it's not going to print out x equal to z or whatever. It's going to tell you that it's false because x is not equal to z. X is 6, z is 5. So if I say x is equal to y, it's going to print out true, because if you can check, x is 6, y is 6. So that's how we deal with booleans. So booleans are mostly used in if statements. For example, if I can say if x is equal to y, now let's print out x is, okay, I'm making a mistake. Let's print out x is, small letter x is equal to y. So I can say run, and then it will print out x is equal to y because now it's true. So if statement works as if this condition that I just highlighted is true, then print this. If it's false, it will have to go to an else statement, which is going to be below the if. I will go to if statements in another video. So now if I say if x equal to z, note that it won't print out anything because this is now false. X is equal to z is false. It won't print out anything. That's how we work with booleans. So also I can print out the data type of a certain variable, because these are data types. So now when we want to print out a data type of a certain variable, let me say x is equal to 5.5, y is equal to 5, z is equal to high, and then okay, let me work with these ones first, and then let me say print type of x. So now it's going to print out the data type. It's not going to print out the value of x. The data type, so the type is float. It's saying class float. So just know that data types are also, they are added in this program as a class. So it's just the data type. You will know well about class when I go to classes or object-oriented programming. So this is a float, and then when I go to print the type of y, now it's going to print class int, that's an integer. So when I go to print type of z, it's going to print string. Yeah, so that's how it is. And then for Boolean part, let me say g is equal to, or let me say bool is equal to true. So bool is equal to true, and then let's print out the type of bool. It's going to, though it's not defined. Oh, okay, so it's supposed to be like this. I made a mistake. It's supposed to be capital letter T and then print, so it's going to say class bool. So note that if you use the small letter true, it's not going to give you what you're looking for. It's an error. So it's a name error. Name true is not defined. Did you mean true? Capital letter T. So yes, that's how it is working with data types and variables. So thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. Please like, please comment your thoughts, please share the link, and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed.